Hello. Hi, I am Deanne Battle, and this is the Composite, Season 1, Episode 17, I believe. Welcome. And, I'm not sure how many people might have the time and inclination to hop on, but I wanted to do an episode. Now, I promised an episode this evening, but I'm actually still on the road. So that's why I'm in my car, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I'm visiting family, so I'm not at home. So for a little bit of a recap, if you didn't see the last episode or so, I was in Vermont for a week at a writing conference. I was working on my short story collection, and that was a really wonderful experience. I got a chance to get some new pages done before the school year starts. So that's very helpful for me because I didn't take the teacher's summer off. I taught in a summer program for those that are unfamiliar with what I've been talking about. So I taught in a summer program. And then as soon as that was over, I've been in the process of looking for an apartment in New York, which has not been as successful as I would like at this point, but still working on it. So I was looking for an apartment, and then I did this summer program, summer writers conference. And so that's what I've been up to. And so I did one episode last week from Vermont. And I wanted to do another, but between all of the workshops and the readings, and then I was trying to, like I said, get some new pages done. It didn't pop off, but I'm here now, right? I drove back from Vermont to see my family in New York, and I've been here since Sunday evening. And then I'm going to go back to Pennsylvania tomorrow. I meant to go today, but then I had a couple of leads on apartments that I wanted to follow up on. And by the time I did that, got something to eat or whatever, it just kept getting later and later. So that, early departure thing didn't really pan out. But like I said, nevertheless, I'm here. Other things that are going on, have a thought for a second. What did I want to mention? Oh, the writing. This was a really great, last week was a great writing week for me. So like I said, new pages, which are super important, especially as you're working on a short story collection. You want to have enough material to, look through and decide what to revise, what to keep, what to toss out. So I was really grateful for that. I got some wonderful feedback from the faculty mentors that I know, but also from a famous writer who I won't mention his name because, I don't know how different people feel about stuff on social media. But, I gave a reading and he said that he enjoyed it. So that was helpful as well. That doesn't supersede, the commentary that I got from my mentors and my fellow colleagues. But it is a nice additional affirmation. So that was good. I'm feeling in a good space with that. Other things, my family's doing well. I'm seeing a lot of, people that I know from my childhood, family, friends, and stuff like that, since I'm, with my family out here in Queens. So that's great. It's actually raining right now, and the mosquitoes are vicious. So I thought about doing this episode from the porch, but number one, it's kind of outside, so everybody would see me talking to myself. And then number two, like I said, the mosquitoes, ooh, Lord. Yeah, I'm just not about that life. I mean, they just don't even give you a half a second to breathe. As soon as you open the door and you're outside, they are on you. So I have to get used to that again if, I'm able to hopefully find an apartment in New York soon, where I'm living in Pennsylvania. We don't really have too many mosquitoes out in my area. So, but, it's not. It's a landlocked area, area. There are not really huge bodies of water. So I think that contributes to it as well. So that's just a little catch up on where I am personally. In terms of what's going on in the news, I actually took that last week as I was working on my writing to have a bit of a blackout on, news updates and stuff. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I think that was good for me. I don't want to be like completely oblivious all the time, but it was nice not to like be inundated with BS because unfortunately, in the news cycle, that's pretty much the majority of what you're seeing is bullshit. And so I appreciated, not torturing myself with that. Although I woke up this morning to see that, a certain person has received yet a fourth indictment. So those charges are coming fast and quick. So we'll see what happens. But it's interesting because when investigations were announced and things like that, I don't know if I mentioned this on previous episodes, I was kind of like, I really didn't think anything was going to come of it, to be honest. But it seems like this person is actually has to be honest with himself. Well, I'm not going to say he has to be honest with himself because I don't think he's honest with too much of anyone. But he will, I think, eventually have to come to terms with the possibility of potential jail time here. And as things have been unfolding, that's, I think, becoming more and more of a real possibility. So, excuse me, that's an interesting thing, to be thinking about. And, again, I'm not sure what, if anything, will come of it, but yeah, that's, wow. That's interesting, right? Because that would mean, to a certain extent, that maybe our justice system kind of works. So, that would be a moment, Now, the issue, I think, is I'm not sure how people that support that individual would feel about it, if they would, want to retaliate and whatnot. And that could be dangerous, right? Because we see what happened on January 6th. But I am curious to see the cultural and political implications of these upcoming trials. And again, it's looking less likely that he'll be able to dodge everything, right? Now, he might not get caught out there on the most serious charges, but they're going to get him on something. It just doesn't seem like he'll be able to, matrix his way out of all of it. So we'll see. Other things. People apparently are still getting mileage on the Montgomery Brawl. It has a song, it has a dance, it has a Wikipedia page. So, speaking of cultural moments, this seems to be a very particular cultural moment. And, I guess because I see people, cycle through different events. Sorry, I'm scratching at mosquito bites. They've been pretty vicious. Oh, hey, someone's joined us. Hi there. I think because people cycle through stuff on social media so quickly, it's very easy to be like, oh, okay, yeah, there was this big fight that went down in Montgomery, Alabama, but whatever. But yeah, hi, I hope everything's going well. So usually what happens with this is that, I post the playback, and I realized, because I'm posting it from Instagram live to YouTube, that sometimes it looks like, well, who is she talking to? But, we do have someone in the chat. I don't like to say names unless people are comfortable with that, but it's a more recent former coworker. So I hope everything is going well with her and her wedding planning. And, thank you for joining us. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that this Montgomery fight incident, I wasn't expecting that people would still, be feeding off of it in terms of social media. but they are. There are t-shirts. As I said, there's a song, there's a dance. And so it almost feels like it's picking up steam as opposed to dying down. So I like 15 minutes before I logged on here, I was seeing the Montgomery Brawl dance and song. And so I was like, wow, this is really, again, gaining traction. It's not going anywhere. So that is an interesting moment. And I'm not going to say I wonder. I don't want to be disingenuous. I have a sense of why, people are, oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for checking in. Yeah, she has to dip out. That's okay. I haven't found a time yet that works for, the majority of people who are interested, or, of the few people who are interested. So, but thank you for checking in. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see you soon. Take it easy. So yeah, back to what I was saying about the Montgomery Brawl. I have a sense of why people are gravitating to it and feeding off of it in an emotional sense. But now, again, with the song and the dance and all this other stuff, hey, we've got somebody else joining us. This is going to... Oops. Okay, sorry. It just told me that it paused for poor connection. But yeah, I'll wrap up with this. I'm not sure how long people are going to emotionally feed on the Montgomery Brawl boat incident. And then also, I don't know how long that will go on before the backlash happens, because inevitably that does happen. Something picks up traction on the internet. You have people that are excited about it. Like I said, songs, dances, t-shirts, memes, reenactments, skits, the whole 9 yards. And then there's that inevitable moment of backlash. So I just wonder where we are on that timeline. That'll be an interesting thing to see. Other things that I'm wondering about. Well, those are the two, between indictments and boat beatdowns. Those are the two biggest things. And I would like to take a moment to send my condolences and send my prayers to folks out on the island of Maui in Hawaii. That is terrible. It's awful. And I was having a conversation with my mom. Like I said, I've been spending time with my family and thinking about the rapid degree of climate change and the ways in which, the earth will be okay, but we have to decide what we want to do as a human species. And we have to fight to be here, and fight in the sense of fight to really do a better job to be stewards of the planet, and to do our part. And I don't think we've been doing a great job at that. That's an understatement. And so the fires in Maui, I'm sure, are an example of that. The ways in which that there always have been and always will be natural disasters, but we tend to, I had notifications coming through. We tend to exacerbate those conditions exponentially by the irresponsible ways that we use energy, by the irresponsible ways that we make throwaway products. We don't recycle, we waste a lot. And so I hate to see that people are suffering from that. So again, sending love and care, because like thoughts and prayers, I feel like it's people say it so much, it doesn't mean anything. But sending love and care to people out in Maui, that's really awful. So in terms of where I am with the composite, again, I believe this is episode 17. And so it occurred to me this morning, what I'm going to want to do is make this the second to last episode of the season. So there'll be an episode 18 And then I want to take a week or possibly 2 as a hiatus. And then during that hiatus, during that week or 2, really make some powerful alterations in terms of season 2. Things that I've been teasing out in terms of, possibly having people do consultations, writing consultations with me in this space and see how other folks respond to it. So the writing consultations, I want to integrate that into season 2. Better lighting and setup, integrating that into season 2. I think I have a little bit of extra cash where I can spring for one of those ring lights. And then guests. So we want to start to work interviews into this. So between those 3 things, production value, which I've spoken about many times here, and interviews, right? And then the writing consultations. I think that would make for a fruitful season 2, and give us a little bit more of wiggle room, a little bit more variety in terms of content here. And then also, I found this thing called StreamYard that makes it a little bit easier to stream to multiple platforms and to share screens while you're streaming. So, again, I'm learning as I go. And then I think that would make it a little more interactive. A couple of times on here, I've tried to show articles and videos, and it's been a little janky, but, I've worked with it. But, I think what would be the possibilities for viewership and engagement if I could get those little elements together. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the dates will be. I will explain that in the last episode of the season. But I think it's time to close down season 1. And then take a week or 2 to come up with some game plans here. I might even have some merch on the horizon. So this is fun. It's exciting. And I like sharing this space. It'll be interesting to see, if, on the off chance this does gain any traction, what that means, right? Because in one part of my life, I'm an educator. In one part of my life, I'm a writer. And now in one part of my life, I'm doing this social media thing, right? So how will those things interact? I've tried not to censor myself, but I've also tried to be, sensitive to the fact that different people who know me in different sectors of my life have different opinions on things, right? And so that was something else I was thinking about yesterday. I was like, have I said anything that people have found offensive or off-putting? I hope not. But at the same time, I still want to have the flexibility to speak my mind. And I do that, in as a person who's curious, as a person who's open to dialogue. And so that's the spirit in which it's given. So hopefully most people get that. And if they don't, then, then they probably won't be joining me here. Other things that I've been wondering about. Whoa. That was a FedEx truck. Yo, they're serious about delivering those packages, like for real. Driving very quickly. I guess another thing that I'm thinking about, I was born and raised in Queens. I won't say what part, just because it's the internet. But yeah, I was born and raised in Queens, and the ways in which the neighborhood is changing and the composition of who lives here is changing. I told my mom, I was like, okay, so I went to the bodega up the street yesterday, and this guy walks in, kind of crunchy, kind of granola, but no shoes on. And I just told her, I said, oh, I just wasn't prepared for that at all at that time of day. I don't know if I would have been prepared for that at any time of day, but it's just, you sometimes, I think, lull yourself into saying, okay, you'll expect certain people and certain behaviors in certain designated areas. And so I was just trying to articulate how it was like, yo, homeboy didn't have no shoes on, and you just are, and it's hot, right? So it's, in the upper 80s, it's very humid, and you're just on the pavement and in the bodega chilling with no shoes. And so I was just kind of like, wow. Okay, so we're there already. So I'm wondering what that's going to mean in terms of the community in the area, right? And so we tend to put the word old, right, in front of the name of our neighborhood. And, because my family's been here probably since the 60s, right? And so, what does that mean for other families that have been here, for a really long time, working class and middle class families, right? As things become more expensive, because it's, this has happened pretty much, in Brooklyn. My family, when I was 17 years old, moved to Crown Heights, and the ways in which we got priced out of there. I just wonder what that'll mean for this area, because that's how it works, right? You have early adapters who move into marginalized communities, again, working class communities, and then the prices of everything, you get your Starbucks going, prices go up, property taxes go up, rents go up, and then people, leave, flood out. And then, that previous iteration, all of those different people that live there, because it is a diverse area, but all of those different peoples and different ethnicities, they get erased. And now when it happened in Crown Heights, I was sad about it, but at the same time, that's not where I was born, right? Like, this feels a little closer to home and a little more personal. And also, as somebody who's trying to move back into New York at the moment and looking for an apartment, it's a little nerve-wracking, because I'm like, oh, if, this guy here feels that comfortable, he's just walking around with no shoes, that usually means that, like, you know what I mean? The domination has come, right? Like, it's just like, okay, this is my area, right? I'm laying claim. I feel comfortable enough. I don't have on any shoes. And this is anecdotal, right? So, because this person maybe doesn't wear shoes at all anywhere he goes. I don't know. But the image in my mind is somewhat emblematic, right, of that process that all of these communities in New York go through, in terms of being gentrified, in terms of pushing the working class people out. So as someone who is looking for an apartment, I'm a bit nervous about that. And I just wonder what it will mean for my ability to, like, actually find a place. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to pull that off or pull it together, but we shall see. So I think what I'll do is end it there, because there are mosquitoes in this car with me, and I haven't been able to really slap them away because I've got the phone situation here. They've been eating my ass alive all day. Like, I have on my left arm, I have 3 bites. And then I have another 3 bites on my right arm, and then 1 on my right hand. So it's like a total of 7. And I've been wearing long jeans on purpose, so they can't get to my legs. I find that for whatever reason, mosquito bites on my legs seem to itch more than the ones on my arms. So I'm, having the arms out for ventilation in the summer heat. But there's one of these little bastards right here now. Yeah, I saw you. I got all the smoke for the mosquitoes. I really do. But yes, I feel like they itch more on my legs versus my arms. Who knew? I don't have on any perfume or anything. But my blood type, maybe this is too personal information to share on the internet, I don't know. But I'm an A+, and I think my blood type is one of the types that appeals to mosquitoes the most. So I was just like, damn it, but they're getting me pretty good. Good Lord. So if I move back out here, I've got to get used to that again as well, the mosquitoes, because they are not this bad where I live in Pennsylvania at all. Other things. No, I think that's all I have for right now. But life is good. It feels, especially post writing conference, it feels better than it has in a while, just that desire and that need to create, but not having the time and the resources to get it done. That was really frustrating the hell out of me, and I've been writing for the better part of 35 years. So it's time. So, I really am grateful, and even when people had suggestions for my work, they just came from a place of, oh, I know you'll sort this out, but here's something to think about, which, I can take the criticism of the work, because at the end of the day, I want to be a better writer. I want to tell better stories, but, that wasn't even the type of criticism I was getting. It was more like, oh, the character was in the parking lot and now they're somewhere else. You might want to, work on the setting for that. Like, what happened? That's fine. I really appreciate that. But, especially as a Black writer at a predominantly white writing conference, there are certain things that I might say in my work that I was like, well, I don't know if everybody's going to get what I'm talking about, but it's authentic to me and it's authentic to the characters that I'm creating. So we're going to go with it. And that was cool. Everything was pretty cool. It worked out. And so I have a lot of work to do, but I'm very energized about getting it done. And I, more than anything, I'm grateful to the me of like 3 months ago, or was it more than 3 months ago? It might have been in April. I don't know. But they had one space left in this short story workshop. And I looked at it for like a half day to a day, and I sat on it. I was like, I'm going to be between apartments, between jobs. Like, it's not the best time for me to go to a writing conference. But I was like, no, I want to make time for my work and make time for myself as an artist and make it a priority. So that way I can go into the next school year knowing that usually the first, I would say first 4 to 6 weeks of the school year, I'm really not getting any writing done whatsoever. Like, I'm not even really opening documents. But at least I know I had this week where I really powered through and got it on the page, and I have a few days now too, because I don't start work until I've got like some preliminary stuff at the very end of this week, but I don't officially start until next week. So I even have a few more days here to make things happen. So I appreciate the me from a few months ago that made the artwork, a priority for the me right now. And, that's really just contributed to me having a better mood, a more congenial, outlook, and in terms of how I'm, engaging with people. So yeah, life is good. So what I'm going to do is there'll be one more episode this week. I'll shoot for tomorrow, but at the worst case scenario, Wednesday. But that episode 18, that'll be the end for season 1. And then I'll set a date for season 2. And I'll do it again, but only better. So, per usual, thank you to everybody that's been checking out episodes, especially my parents. My parents have been watching it. So that's been super helpful. I appreciate the love and the support. But with that being said, I think I'll wrap up a few minutes early here. So thank you for watching The Composite with me, Deanne Battle. And this has been season 1, episode 17. Have a great evening. Bye.